Now, once we were done with the codominance and multiple alleles, the next thing and the last thing for the crosses that we have, ठीक है, is sex linkage. ठीक है. So whenever we would talk about the sex linkage, या उससे पहले हम लोग क्या करते हैं? We talk about types of chromosomes. ठीक है, बस इतनी छोटी सी बात समझ लो. We're going to go with the types of chromosomes. देखो बेटा होता क्या है? At the very start of this chapter, when we were talking about the chromosomes, we talked about all of these, right? So we talked about कि भाई, these are all the chromosomes that exist in the humans. And we said कि भाई, every species is going to have the same number of chromosomes. Number of chromosomes में कोई change नहीं आएगा. ठीक है? लेकिन हम species के अंदर we divide the chromosomes into two different categories. सबसे पहले जो chromosomes होते हैं ना, they're an accumulation of all the chromosome except for the last pair. ठीक है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर मैं कह रहा हूँ एज ए ह्यूमन मेरे पास 23 पेयर्स ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स हैं, तो आखिरी वाले पेयर के अलावा जितने भी क्रोमोसोम्स होंगे ना, उनके लिए एक स्पेसिफिक नाम है, आखिरी वालों के लिए एक स्पेसिफिक नाम है. द फर्स्ट or every pair of chromosome except for the last, they are called as autosomes. Right? What are autosomes? All chromosomes except for the last pair are called as the autosomes. ठीक है, ये बिल्कुल याद रखना है. जो लास्ट पेयर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स होता है ना, उससे हम लोग कौन से वाले क्रोमोसोम्स कहते हैं? दे आर कॉल्ड एज द सेक्स क्रोमोसोम्स. And this is what defines our gender, basically, or defines our sex. Biologically speaking, contrary to popular belief, there are only two sexes, males and females. ठीक है? 20 years from now, 200 years from now, if your bones are going to be extracted and if they're going to analyze you, they're just going to tell you कि भाई, either if you're a male or a female, no other thing. ठीक है? अच्छा जी. Okay. So what are the sex chromosomes? हम कहते हैं कि भाई, these are the last pair of chromosomes that determine the sex या फिर the gender of an individual. ठीक है? Now, अब देखो, अब फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो होते हैं बेटे, बायोलॉजिकली स्पीकिंग नहीं होते ना. अच्छा जी. अब अगर हम लोग इसको देखें, अब अगर हम लोग इसको यहाँ देखें, ठीक है. Now, let's say, okay, if we talk about humans, right? So since we're the organisms of the same species, every chromosome that we have is going to be the same. लेकिन कंडीशन क्या है? Everyone in this meeting room, आई होप हम सब इंसान हैं, तो जितने भी इंसान हैं उनके जितने भी फर्स्ट 22 पेयर्स ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स हैं ना, ऑटोसोम्स है, वो एग्जैक्टली सेम है. फर्क किधर आता है? इन द लास्ट पेयर ऑफ क्रोमोसोम्स. All the males in this, let's say, meeting or in this class have an XY as the last pair of chromosome. All the females have a pair of X as their last chromosome. तो हमारे पास सिर्फ डिफरेंस किधर आ रहा है बिटवीन ऑर्गेनिज्म द सेम स्पीशी के अंदर इन द सेक्स क्रोमोसोम्स, और वो भी हमारे पास सिर्फ मेल्स और फीमेल्स के बीच में डिफरेंस आ रहा है. ठीक है? अच्छा जी. अब let me make it more easy for you. Let me make it more easy for you. It doesn't have to be humans, it could be some other species as well. For example, let's say we have Mr. Whiskers right here. Right. So this right here is Mr. Whiskers. Okay, not the body that I wanted. right? So now Mr. Whiskers, he also has a family, he also has a wife, right? And that is Mrs. Whiskers. Now, Mrs. Whiskers has a warmer smile, right? And let's give her a bow. ठीक है? So अब इसको देखो, अब देखो now. अब हम लोग क्या देख रहे हैं कि भाई हमारे पास both Mr. and Mrs. Whiskers are the organisms of the same species. ठीक है? Both of them are the organisms of the same species, right? Whatever the number of chromosomes that they have, we don't care. ठीक है? हाँ, हमें बस ये पता होगा कि भाई both of them, they have the same what? They're going to have the same autosomes. But since the last pair of chromosomes are different based on their sexes, Mr. Whiskers, as his last pair of chromosomes, is going to have one X and one Y chromosome, while Mrs. Whiskers, as her last pair of chromosomes, are going to have or is going to have a pair of X's. Okay? This is what we call as, or this is what we call as the sex chromosomes. ठीक है? अब हमारे पास now, अब होता हमारे पास क्या है, besides, before we talk about anything else, let's talk about this guy. Let's talk about the Y chromosome first. ठीक है? अच्छा, हम लोग कहते हैं ना कि भाई हर मर्द के अंदर एक औरत छुपी हुई होती है. This is very true. We are all born as females. ठीक है? We are all born as females. If no, we are actually, if the Y chromosome is present, if Y chromosome is present at fifth month of fetal life, the Y chromosome gets activated, right? And it causes the ovaries that are produced to descend down, forming the testes. तो हो हमारे पास क्या रहे, genetically if you're born as a female, right? And that's why when parents have to find out the gender of their offspring, or or if somebody's pregnant and they would want to find out the gender of their offspring, or they would have to wait at least 5 months. So gender reveal से 5 महीने के बाद हो सकता है, right? तो खैर, so ये Y chromosomes, again we're all born as females, right? लेकिन gender change कौन कर रहा है, determine कौन कर रहा है? Y chromosome. So this chromosome basically determines the sex. लेकिन उसका काम सिर्फ यहीं तक होता है. Once uh it's done doing that, ठीक है, it forms a male offspring. At when the fetus is born or when the child is born, Y chromosome कहता है sayonara, I'm going away. ठीक है? I am not going to do anything anymore. The Y chromosome has no alleles. ठीक है? उसका काम सिर्फ यही होता है. well खैर, आगे जाके पढ़ोगे होगा, लेकिन अभी फिलहाल what we need to know is कि भाई when we are born, or when the males are born, and if they have the Y chromosome, वो Y chromosome के पास कोई एलील नहीं है, अब वो एक्टिव नहीं है, it's not going to do anything anymore. ठीक है? The only function it had was to cause the ovaries to descend down as the testes, and for cause the ovarian ducts, or sorry, the fallopian tubes to form oviducts to convert into the sperm ducts. That's it. That's all what it had to do. ठीक है? अब इसके पास एलील्स नहीं है. तो अगर मैं अब Y क्रोमोसोम किसी को पास करता हूँ, will I be transferring my alleles from the Y chromosome? Nope. ठीक है? तो फिर वो वाली ट्रेट्स जो 23rd हर क्रोमोसोम के पास, वी आर नेमिंग द क्रोमोसोम 1 से लेके 23 तक बिकॉज दे हैव स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ जीन्स, राइट? सो वो वाले जीन्स जो क्रोमोसोम नंबर 23 से ऑफस्प्रिंग में पास होता है, वो कौन से वाले क्रोमोसोम के ऊपर होंगे? क्रोमोसोम एक्स के ऊपर होंगे, क्रोमोसोम वाई के ऊपर होंगे? both of them are the 23rd pair of chromosome, right? ठीक है, yes it is correct, that is possible. Klinefelter syndrome होता है, खैर. So those traits which are passed down from the parent to the offspring from the X chromosomes, because X chromosomes has those traits, right, are called as sex-linked traits. What are sex-linked traits? Traits passed from the parents to the offsprings via कौन सा वाला chromosome? X chromosomes. ठीक है? So we'll stop here today. We're just going to revise this tomorrow again. And then we'll talk about the sex-linked process, and we'll be done with the crosses and start off with mutations inshallah tomorrow. So that we could be done with genetics only part.